get over here at least. All right, so today we're going to turn some bottle openers, which will actually give me a chance to try some of these vintage gouges here. 1/2-inch Rockwell. So that'll be fun once we're off around. Let's get started here with, got a couple pieces of black limba. This one's got an interesting piece on it. I like this one though, because it's got bug holes in it. We're gonna just do this up between centers to start off. It's been a long time since I've done a spindle. All right. Put that up here. Our pin's back there. I'm sure it doesn't matter that we leave the stickers on, but I'm going to take them off. And once we get this thing to round, then I can see if this will be wide enough to do what I want. All right. So many warnings on a piece of wood. Okay. Let's bring this out. Gotta make a place to store that. That mallet deserves better than to just be laid right there. It needs a little awesome mount up there. And there we go. We almost. There we go. That'll get us most of the way there. Actually, let's just start a little over. All right. Let's get masked up. And let's throw on the good old face mask here. Gonna be using my Benjamin's Best. I think this is a 3/4 inch rough and gouge. Oh, can't do anything if we don't have any power. Forgot from when we were cleaning up in here. Yeah. Now we got power. Now we can continue. Let's just make sure. All right. So now we'll get the rough and gouge here. I think we're a little high. I forgot how good it was to work with these kind of tools. They're still not round yet. We're getting there. We're almost there. Oh yeah, take a look at that. This black limbo has got quite a few bug holes in it. We'll see how it looks when we get to the final dimensions here. Let me take down this last part out here on the end. All right, so we're good over there. So I want to bring this up here. Gotta get closer. Oh, we got a little bit of orange color in there. That's interesting. I don't remember that on any black limbo that I've used before. We'll see if that carries through to the final build here. Let's crank this thing up a little bit. Currently at 780 RPMs. All right. Still a little bit of flat on there still. Mostly, let's take a look. Got a little bit of flat here in the middle. Let's take it down a little bit more on some more here to the end. It's not too bad. I kind of like the looks of this grain of this black limba. Kind of reminds me of some of the oak boards I got from a buddy that had a tree come down. It's kind of the same pattern. But wasn't like this. Some kind of noise. think we might have got it. It's a little bit there, but that's fine. That's pretty fine down there too. All right, let me grab the piece that we're going to try to make, which is something I made in last year's, which is a lightsaber bottle opener. For those of you familiar with Star Wars, that's what we're going to do here today. It's not very complex. It's just a series of cylinders inside of each other. The hardest part, you can kind of barely, maybe even see it on this camera, maybe not. There's little grooves here at the end, which we can do afterward with a file. No problem at all. But I think I can do this mostly between centers without putting it in a chuck. I will need to part it off at the end. Let's grab a pencil here. Let's go with the trusty old sharp-writer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take into consideration that this is into the wood there. I'm just going to take our rough marks. And it doesn't have to be exact. So we just want to kind of have the same general idea. I think that works. So we're talking from there to there, and we can probably get a second one out of this one board here. So let's keep that behind us there for inspiration. I'm going to turn the speed way down, and then we're going to draw these lines on here. Some of them are hard to see. Is that how that works? Yep, okay. Yep. It's hard sometimes to remember what sections are higher and lower. There's no real good way of marking that out. At least not for me. Oh. Okay, so I think I mentioned this in a previous stream. I'm also testing out a whole bunch of different kinds of pencils to use, as the sharp-writer is one of my favorites. So even though they've changed a few designs since these little yellow ones. So I've been acquiring different types of writing utensils for turning and woodworking over the past 6 months and trying to see which one works best for me and my wood turning and just regular woodworking. Like right here I got a pencil from Woodpeckers. Is it the best? I don't know. But it's a 0.9. Whereas the sharp-writer, I think, are 0.6s, 0.3s. They're really thin lead on those guys, though. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to part on the outside here and on the outside here, just so I know where my lines are done at. And I'll use the Sorby to do that. Before, I could probably use this parting tool on this whole entire thing, as we're just taking, we're not really doing any beads. We'll see how that goes. That's not too much fun. Nobody likes that. All right. Let's just tool up a little bit. mean, it could be a fun project of just turning the whole entire thing with the parting tool. I mean, there's no rule saying you can't. All right, there's that. So we're also gonna need, and come over here to my turning kits. Nope, it's not in there. Ah, there we go. Always got to have one of these. Let me put it up here so you can see behind the wall. This will help you get all your settings that you need. You know what? I'm gonna bring this thing closer too. Just a little perfect. All right. So this is our widest point. Plenty of ways still to go on that guy. I'm just going to start this one with, I'm going to start on this side. There we go. I mean, it's not as exciting, but on this simple shape, it's working pretty well. Although, I do want to try out, actually, let's keep that out. So these are, I guess you could consider this like a vintage gouge. So this is a spindle turning gouge. It's a 1/2 inch, and it's from Delta Rockwell. And I think Rockwell sold Delta in the early 1980s. So this line's from like the 60s or 70s. I, of course, picked them up on eBay, and holy cow, look at that angle on that thing. Let's see if they have any sharpness to them. Yeah. It's not too bad. Let's see how the cut is. You know, for something right off the shelf off eBay, not too bad at all. So if I was just using this tool, this is how I would do it. I think the parting tool makes it a little bit easier, so you don't have to worry about any of the curves. Like I said, there ain't no laws when you're turning stuff. Alright, so that one's going to stay high. That's going to go low. And this next piece goes even lower. All right. Okay. So we got that piece. So this one goes even lower than that one. Okay. That one, that one, that one. All right, so this piece drops down the lowest out of all of them. There we go. Let's just clean this up a little bit. All right. So we're starting. Let's cut with this. All right, so we got the basic gist and a bunch of splinters. Those will all come out. Basic gist of our lightsaber here. It's going to be interesting. We'll have to see if we can get this in the chuck. Totally forgot we had to drill this out in the center, but that's fine. I can come later, and or we can do that at the drill press when we're done. All right. So let's start with the sheath. Might actually have to be smaller this time around. Okay. Yeah, so that, all right, that's going to be smaller. That's fine. This original one, this was cut out of a piece of black walnut scrap like this. And these are some black walnut burls that I have. So like this guy. So this blank right here. Hold on one second. Just gotta check on the kiddos. Hopefully that didn't disrupt the stream too bad. All right, we're back. And we want to go to this depth right there, which we're not. Yeah, we're there. We are there on that one. Let's do. Got that guy. All right. Let's take all this down back here a little bit. Just a little. And we could take this down even further. Hair more. Almost there. Just trying to take shallow passes. There we go. Perfect. flip over to the carbide. I find it's easier to doing cuts like this. And for getting in here, making this a nice crispy cut here. All right, let's take a look at that. All right, not too bad. I don't know what Jedi out there would have had a lightsaber with bug holes in it, but I'm sure there's one out there. I'm sure they would have rocked it. Still been a person I wouldn't want to run into. All right. Let's get the Sorby back out. This is about that size now. It needs to be closer to this, so let's take that down. I forget. Yeah, most of this is all the same size on the inside, so you can hold it pretty well. That's about the same size there. Just always want to make sure that you're keeping the parts that should be higher and lower separate. At least that you know which they are. Okay. And then this is about the same height. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit in there. Perfect. All right. Well, let's get back over to here. And this is up away from your hand, so it's not too bad, but I'd like to at least take it down a little bit more. To have just a little bit of relief in between this outer one and it. Okay, so roughly we have the same shape now as this, as you can see. If the camera stops moving, it is roughly the same size. We could take it down a little bit down here on the end. Might do that. Though I kind of like the big, bulky, chunky ends because you can just set it down and it stands up. You know, it's kind of nice. We need to add in. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Let's put you back up here, Sorby. Yeah. All right. We need to grab our carbide tool. Come over here. to our unorganized chaos, and then we need that one. I think it's this. I think it's this Allen wrench. Okay. There we go. Still getting used to using this thing from our last stream on hollowing out the inside of the vessel. I wanted to take a break, so we're going to be using this point to put our lines in. All right. Whoa. Trying to get better about putting things back when I'm not using them. Cleaning up this shop has been, oh gosh, so many months in the making. I think I started videos about cleaning up this shop in like September of last year, and I just did an update the other day, which I haven't gotten released yet. But it's been a long. I finally feel like I can actually do work out here other than just on the lathe. I got a project going on in the house over there, but what I need is a pencil. But it's kind of nice to be finally back in the shop and have everything in its place. All right, so let's grab a ruler. Oh, I have a small black one somewhere. There we go. So it's like every 1/4 inch. How many do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. These won't be too bad. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mostly look equal distanced out. Uh-oh. Where'd my cap go? There it is. I want to cut my hand. All right, let's lower this guy down. All right, there we go. Those aren't too bad. Put that back up there. Grab the Sorby again, because we're going to need to part this down some. All right, while it's up here, I think we're in a good spot. We can give it a first pass sand, and it's fairly smooth. Let's see what we got here down on our sandpaper. I would like to start. I think we can get away with a 180. Let's see here. There. Yeah, knock down some of that stuff. Probably just do 180 and then maybe a 220. Not too bad. There we go. Get all those little spots. And then if you're new to wood turning, I'm sure some of you vets know this, but when you're doing spindles, especially with grain, going long ways and you're sanding it as it's spinning around, if you want to hide those lines, take it off and just hand sand some with the grain with each grit that you do. It takes a long time, but it's worth it in the end. Doesn't take much, especially on this wood. I've always had good success with black limba. It's actually, was that my first bowl that I sold last year, I think, was black limba. I think I gotta get this thing working so it follows me again. I think the first bowl I sold last year was black limba. I kind of like it. I like the differences in grain you get off of this. All right, let me come over here. Hopefully this won't kick on the air compressor. All right. Hard to see with that thing on. But I want to get maybe if I turn it on very slow, get the inside of these lines. There we go. Oh yeah, it's feeling nice and smooth. All right, so let's have some fun and take this off and breathe normally. What kind of finish do I want to put on this thing? That is a good question. Coming over here, which is funny that you guys can now watch me be over here. I guess I could do shellac. Shellac wouldn't be too bad. I say that, but this shellac could be too old. And I'm going to use one of these, I think, to put it on. I was even down at Lowe's today and forgot to get a box of shop rags. It was on my list, but I just didn't get it. So I'll use a rosin bag. And I had some gloves. I think I had some gloves. Let me walk over here. Hopefully you don't lose me. Had to go way out. Ugh. Had to go way out in the garage. All right, I got this. You guys can't see me. It doesn't know where I'm at. All right, let me see if I jump back in front of it now. There we go. Look at that magic trick. All right. Let's come over here. Get a screwdriver. You know, ever since I found these in the last stream where we were cleaning up these little short, stubby black Stanley screwdrivers, I've been using the crap out of them. This flathead and the Phillips. Oh, it smells like shellac. All right, let's get this thing. Wonder if I should stir it. Give me a stir stick. Sure. This is stir stick, aka my makeshift bandsaw miter sled. But you know what? As I joke about it, I made that thing probably 6 or 7 years ago for this, just this small Delta bandsaw, because it never had a miter gauge with it at all, and it works perfectly. It works flawlessly for when I'm pushing through wood. All right, I guess we could just leave that there. I think it's time to buy a new thing of shellac. Oh yeah, look at that color. It's got some good color. Probably do a couple coats of shellac because I think this is gonna soak it up. I can't even hardly get my hand down in there. Yeah, there we go. And doing this with the I call it like the hilt area smaller than the original might actually help, because there was a little, every so often you'd run into a bottle that you were trying to open that just wouldn't work. So making it smaller would actually give you the ability to open those bottles. I still got them open though. Where there's a will, there's a way. You don't put a beer bottle in front of me and I'm not going to open it. All right. I think we keep it doing here for a little bit. That's actually not too bad. It's a pretty looking piece of wood once it gets polished up. And see, we have plenty of room over here still to do another, maybe a smaller bottle opener or whatnot, but this one, not too shabby. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit. And I always like to spin it up. Hopefully it doesn't fly at the camera. We're gonna let this one dry for a little bit, and then we're gonna cut it off, and then we'll mount the Jacobs chuck in here and drill it out so we can screw in the bottle opener. And then you always have to try it out and make sure it works. Maybe we'll just give this a little polish. I don't think rosin bags are supposed to be used for this, but it works. We're on a slow RPM. There any other shapes? I'm just a Star Wars fan, so I always like to go towards the lightsabers when I'm turning stuff on the lathe. Any other shapes anybody would like to see a bottle opener out of? I think we have 10 yeah, 10 bottle opener bits that we're going to be making for this summer's line. There we go. Let's let that cure for a moment. All right. I can take these gloves off. You know what? While we wait, let's do. Gotta walk slow so it doesn't lose me. Put my gloves up there. Look, not even doing this for long form videos, just only for the stream exclusive content. But let's go with, this is a block I've had a long time. So what we need to do, and this one is coated in wax. So I don't want to ruin my pens or my pencils. I think this is a piece of Bailey. This might be the oldest block I have in here, and or I ordered it after. I tried when I first started learning how to turn on the lathe. I tried to turn a tool handle out of some of this, and it did not look right, didn't come out appropriate. So it got scrapped. It's actually I think it's down there in the bin. All right, so what we're gonna do, since this needs to dry, pull back the tailstock. There we go. Look, boom, right behind us. And then we need to grab this. And we'll start working on this one. There we go. Might do, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Let's get this thing round first, and then we'll figure it out. As you can see, my love for lightsabers runs strong. That's what this mallet is. It's actually a long form video for it out there on the channel from a year or two ago. It's been a while, can't really remember. Just trying to get that to closest center possible. How do we look? That looks pretty good. Not the worst. Hopefully these labels, oh yeah, much easier on this wax. So needless to say, this has probably been sitting here since 20, what are we in, 2025? 2022, 2023? Somewhere along those lines. All right. Let's get busy. Oh, gotta pull that up first. Okay, go about right there. Let's get this thing cooking. See what this thing looks like when it's round. Knew that was gonna happen. All right. Sharpen this guy. Do that later. Do it later after we're done. It's just a little hard getting in there. All right, let's try to get this side round so I can move this back down. Getting there though. Getting there. Getting closer down there. Definitely nicer once it does get all the way around. This might need a good sharpen. Always try. Let's try the carbide. Almost there. Ah, still got a lot of ways to go. Oh man. Felt like I was closer than I actually was. Just every time I stop, still flat. So, we're getting close. It's barely a flat spot, but let's just start from the end and see how far down we got to go to get rid of it. How's that do it? All right, we got it now. I think it's time to rotate the blade on this thing. Let's see here. Oh, all right, we're getting there. All right. This side just needs to bleed a little bit more. Anybody got any ideas for what we should make this one look like? This bottle opener? Post a comment down below now if you think. Or if you have an idea of something we can make that looks like a bottle opener. Keep it family friendly. Oh, there we go. Nice. Got it. Got it round. What time is it? 5:42. How long? Been out here for 63 minutes or so. All right, I might call it a day at that. We've got this one curing. I'll get another coat of poly on here. Probably put that on there now. So we've got one bottle opener out of 10. Got another one up here. We got this other piece. So need some help, need some ideas, some shapes, or something real world that you can make bottle openers out of, like lightsabers, or I don't know, lathe tool handles. You never know. You could have a lathe tool handle be a bottle opener. But we got 10 of them to make, so I don't want to just make them all just like straight handles on like normal bottle openers. I want them to be, fun and something that people would want. So if anybody has any ideas, leave a comment on this video. I'll also probably do a post on YouTube about it. So if you're not already following, make sure to follow along. I'll probably, today's Sunday. I don't know if I'll get back out here tomorrow. When we're going camping sometime soon. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday we'll get out here. But thank you everybody for stopping by the stream. This has been great. I like doing these streams, connect a little bit more, talk a little bit more, and kind of helps create a little bit of content that's a little bit more different than what I normally do. So I'll talk to you guys all next time. Have a great rest of your weekend wherever you are, unless it's already Monday. And I will talk to you guys next time. See ya. Bye.